He is from your neighborhood. He is the good neighbor, John Ross. There you go, John Ross, man. Interesting cat. There's no doubt about it. Tough guy, though. His opponent, he is from Paradise City. He is the rocker, Kriss Sands.
That's my buddy right there,
There
Kriss
you go.
Sands, my homie.
Very popular guy in the Imagine Nation and amongst the Imagine family. A lot of guys like this kid. Lots to like about him.
Yeah,
fire.
He's one of the up-and-coming stars. Once again, a trainee of Imagine Dojo, just like neighbor John Ross. But Kriss Sands is someone I've watched since day one, and I've always been impressed by him.
Here we go. I think it's time for a match. We got referee Mike Zeke in there tonight. Of course, I've known Mike Zeke since he was 16 years old, hence the nickname we gave him many years ago, 16.
Yes, Mike Zeke is now twice 16 times 2, but we still call him 16.
There you go.
Of course, we wouldn't get a nice collar and elbow tie-up out of neighbor
Of course
Johnny.
not. No, a little bit of waving, a little bit of weirdness. A lot of confidence out of John Ross. You know, he was angry before the match. He didn't even touch him. He did not even touch him.
Jealous that my hair is better than his.
He didn't even touch you, dude.
He thought it.
And the mind games continue.
I can see it in his eyes.
I mean, that's preposterous.
It is. This neighbor Johnny, he's exhausting.
Who would even say something like that? Ducks underneath. Trips the legs out from under him. Well done. I like how he put his weight over the top of him. Floated over for that front face lock. And now Johnny, who can wrestle and can fight, trying to take the shortcut out. He knows the counter to this. This is something he learned many years ago, and that's obvious. There he goes. That's the that's the disappointing part about a guy like John Ross, who knows how to do it right and often chooses not to. He talks about doing things right all the time, but when it comes to his wrestling, it's seldom the case. And now he's paying for that bad attitude with a little bit of rocker. He had the hair. Now he was blaming him, Rocker, for pulling the hair, and there he is pulling the hair.
What a hypocrite, this neighbor John. Kriss
He really
Sands airs
rocked
his
him on
grievance.
Always an interesting series of offensive moves out of neighbor John. Rocker able to counter into a sunset flip, though.
Yeah, that was an interesting scenario there with Rocker coming out on top.
It looks
of the
like he
sunset
really
flip.
caught him in the head with a heel there. Caught him with a boot coming in. That surgically repaired jaw in trouble. Time to bang his head.
Neighbor Johnny on spaghetti legs here.
Johnny is all discombobulated, talking about, you know, showing his son something. He clearly isn't showing him anything there.
DDT attempt.
Boot in the shoulder. Interesting strategy. I thought he was trying for the head and just missed and got the shoulder, but it looked like it was strategy, and there it was. Caught those knees up under the armpit and into the shoulder. That's how you separate a shoulder.
That is neighbor Johnny with calculated offense. Like I said, is he weird or is it mind games?
Good God, those shots are tight.
This is the aggressive neighbor Johnny that I remember fighting in Altoona so long ago.
When he's on like this, he is difficult to navigate.
He definitely
difficult
is.
to handle. This guy, when he's focused, can be as tough and as difficult to fight as anybody in Imagine Wrestling. Oh my God, you can hear that shot from here.
He's as unpredictable as a pet raccoon. You never know what you're going to get with neighbor Johnny. Interesting offense, interesting guy, really.
That shot could have well taken the breath away. Big haymaker. Countered, went for a second, but countered by the good neighbor. And now an elbow to the into the insertion joint. And now another shoulder block. Up and over he goes. Offense well designed. And another elbow drop, this time to the shoulder.
Yeah, we've seen this from neighbor Johnny before with that wrist control. Keeping his man down. That was a nice over the shoulder. Kept a hold of the wrist, kept a hold of the hurt body part. Whether you agree with the way he gets there or not, this is sound offense from one John Ross.
Absolutely. We always talk about wrist control. Head control, wrist control, win a match.
Absolutely.
But this is something we've never talked about in this dojo, is taking shortcuts like that.
Yeah.
That guy has picked that up on his own.
Like we saw earlier when he went for the rope break, and he knows the reversal but chooses the shortcut.
Straight right-handed jab just under the ribs. A dangerous spot to hit a man. If you catch him in the liver, it could be lights out and game over right away. So not a shot that's illegal, yet not necessarily moral.
Kriss Sands in a world of hurt here. All he did was just shove neighbor Johnny off of him.
Back to some sort of a rough kind of a look at how that joint is being manipulated right now. That shoulder joint in trouble. Beautifully done. Nice counter.
Snap mare. We've seen that from Kriss Sands before. If he can get something going here, neighbor Johnny back to his feet.
Oh my God, that is getting vicious now. Those are straight knuckles to the back, the upper part of the lat, right into the shoulder joint. This is calculated and, again, difficult offense to deal with. Unpredictable. Good God, I've never seen it quite done like that before, but it did not look like a good time.
Just trying to pull that arm right out of the socket.
Holding the shoulders down. May have been well served to hook the leg in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny now starting to show a bit of frustration. This is, from my experience, if you can get Johnny frustrated, this is where you have your best shot against neighbor John. When he's focused and vicious, forget it.
Got that arm torqued around that ring post.
Wrapped around that cold, unforgiving steel.
Credit the referee Mike Zeke all over him for it.
It's. I don't like the tactic, man. It has been
what a lunatic.
A vicious style of offense out of neighbor John tonight. It is. You can see, like, it has really just been a struggle for Kriss Sands. I mean, he had a heck of a match. You got to wonder what the residual effects of fighting James Ross were last week. They had a heck of a fight here in this building, and you know, neighbor John's been off for several weeks, able to recoup his body. But we can't count out the rocker, man. We've seen this guy come back from a lot before. A lot of heart, a lot of intestinal fortitude. And there he goes. He might get a pin right now. Johnny had to relinquish the hold.
Very nicely done by Kriss Sands there, forcing Johnny into almost a crucifix situation there. Makes him break the hold, got himself out of trouble, if only briefly.
Again, using the ropes for added leverage.
Neighbor Johnny better be careful here. Referee Mike Zeke getting real upset. He could toss this match.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with neighbor John tonight, but he has been aggressively breaking the rules at a high level.
Let's go. Get off the ropes. Come on, Johnny. One. That's it. It's over. Two.
Oh, interesting offense. Atomic drop.
His weird, quirky bullcrap caught him that time. He got caught out with an atomic drop off the second rope, and that looked like a bad time for neighbor John Ross.
I'll tell you what, when you're in trouble, you try to crack the door a bit. He threw that door open hard to get back into this match. Beautifully done on the elbow.
Kriss Sands trying to get something going here, still showing the wear and tear on that shoulder and arm.
Absolutely. Straight headbutt right in between the eyes. Goes Kriss Sands as he levels neighbor John. He has him in the corner. Clothesline, follows it up. Big bulldog.
Big bulldog.
Not able to follow up though.
Yeah. Come on, Johnny.
This is what he needs right here. He could be lining up
Send
that
him
rocker
up.
dropper.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
What's going on here?
Eric Ender's on the apron.
Get off the apron. Get off the apron. Down. Get off the apron.
Oh, the distraction. Just
no.
enough. That neighbor cutter.
Not like that.
Despicable. I am so sick of this Eric Enders.
He knows when to show up and he knows when to disappear, that's for sure. Made haste out of here. Your winner, neighbor John Ross, right there. The referee Mike Zeke with the call.
I'm going to go home and make sure the driveway's completely shoved. James, if you're watching, Daddy's coming home.